Hey everybody, this is Chris with Zerk Motors in Fredericksburg, Virginia. And if you have a Harley Twin Cam engine that keeps flooding the air filter full of oil, where it's dripping out, getting onto the engine, getting onto your leg, your foot, then this video is for you. Now, while what I'm about to explain is not going to fully fix your problem, it is going to significantly help if you're having a lot of issues. To backtrack just a little bit, for those of you that don't know, what we're looking at here is the front and rear breather housing, which holds the oil filter, or excuse me, the oil strainer for the crankcase breather system on the twin cam engine. In short, when the piston goes down, when that engine is running, there is pressure that builds up in the bottom of the engine, which is the crankcase. Harley Davidson Motor Company decided to vent that pressure up the cylinder, through the head, and up to the top of the rocker box, where it then enters into this little housing right here. Inside of this housing, the oil is strained away from the hot air if any of that oil has been pushed up the cylinder, and that oil is ideally held back, and the rest of the hot air is then vented out into the intake right next to the air filter. In a perfect world, that's how it works. Everybody's happy. Unfortunately, I don't believe anyone can really disagree that whether it be engineering, whether it be a number of different things, there are some problems where the housing here, or the strainer, or a combination of a couple of things, maybe the pressure is too great, and when the crankcase is venting, it's pushing a lot of oil up the cylinder passageway up into the rocker box. It completely inundates this little filter housing, and what ends up happening is you get oil that actually passes this filter housing, which it's not supposed to, and then it drips out into the intake right next to the air filter, and over time completely saturates the lower part of the air filter full of engine oil. And then once the air filter can't hold it anymore, it starts to drip out of the air box, whether it get on the engine, get all over your leg, whatever the case is. Now, again, this isn't going to fully take away the problem, but this is definitely going to help. So let's take a look at this. When I flip this over, what you're basically looking at is the oil strainer. This one's used, obviously, and this hot crankcase pressure basically goes into this strainer, where this strainer holds back any of the liquid oil. The hot air will continue past this and then come out this large hole, where it is then vented out into the intake. Okay, this again is the same one. I'm just going to take off the top portion. If I were to remove this, this is what you would see. Okay, and what this basically is a little, it's a little rubberized little umbrella seal, so that this is not always open. As pressure pushes up against it, it'll open up enough to allow the hot air to pass through, and once it passes through, it comes out through here, which is essentially the same thing as it going down and coming out through this hole. It's the same thing. I just took the gasket off. It's right here. So what ends up happening is this strainer is not doing its job. And again, it can be because of a lot of different things. But after about 30,000 miles, which is how many miles this oil strainer has on it, I'm beginning to notice a problem here that I wanted to share with you guys. This strainer is fully replaceable. And it has the consistency, when it's brand new, of sort of like a Scotch-Brite pad. So this is one that is brand new, and it's fairly durable, and it feels a lot like a Scotch-Brite pad. I don't want to say it is because I don't know for sure, but that's what it feels like. It's fairly durable. It doesn't fray apart. But if you take a look at this one right here, and if you watch real closely, all I'm going to do is just kind of smush it a little bit, and it becomes so brittle, it basically breaks apart into nothing. I can tell you right now, if the job of this thing is to hold back oil, that ain't gonna cut it. So what am I suggesting? Whether you have someone do your own work for you or whether you do your own work, all you have to do is just take off the top rocker box cover and get yourself a gasket. As soon as you do that, in between the two rockers of the front cylinder and the rear cylinder, you're going to see something that looks a lot like this. This is a slightly older model of this housing, so you might have a newer model. There's two bolts right in the middle. Pop those off. Take this thing out. It comes out nice and easy. And all you have to do is buy yourself a breather kit, which is going to come with some new gaskets and a new strainer. Put that stuff on and put it back together, and hopefully you're going to be good to go. Again, over time, it's probably going to continue to be a problem until it's addressed by Harley, but this is going to help. I hope this video helps you all out, and you know what to do if you like it. Thanks.